where am I going to put this? Oh, hey there, slot car adventurers. I'm just having a bit of a rearrange here on the display shelves. Yeah, I'm using the time to actually do a little bit of a cull. There's quite a few slot cars I'm discovering in my collection so far that don't really do it for me anymore. You know what I mean? Like this one. I don't know, it's a nice Porsche, but from the moment it arrived, it really didn't gel with me. It's probably done 5 laps in total and then sat on the shelf. So maybe it's time to go through these and put some up for sale on eBay or something like that. Go to a swap meet. Dunno. But anyway, I'm getting things. I've got my NSRs down here. And then next door I've started the Pioneers. That continues up here. There's some convenient space left. There's the new ones, the Challengers. Oh, that's a beauty. Definitely. Got my 3 General Lees there. I've got, well, there's the clean one, the dirty one, and then there's the Aussie Sheila one. Yeah, interesting. Up here, you've got the Fly, we've got the Scale Autos. Yeah, that was a close. He was in what, second place, wasn't he? Finished in the big race, number 6. And I wouldn't mind one of those yellow Ferraris. Is anybody making those? I hope they do a good job. Come on, Scale Auto, make one of them. You've got the gold one. This one here is fantastic. That recent little intro I did to the video last week with all these Le Mans cars, if you want to call them that. This one just wanted to get out in front all the time, and yes, it won the race. So that's very good. I've got the 2-pack down here, the collector's edition. Keeping those in good nick, very nice. So it's, yes. So this is the problem I think we're all facing at some point in time. We're running out of display space, and those dodgy shelves I put up over there, I don't know, I haven't got the area lit, but you can see I've put books up there and it seems to function better as a bookshelf. Yeah, I've got to think about that a bit more. Work on the space. Of course, I've got stuff in here that maybe doesn't need to be in here. It could be like the Batmobile collectibles. They could probably be in the home cinema with more home cinema centric stuff. So that might make a bit of space in the corners. We'll see. I've got all this Scalextrics up in this corner. Well, most of them. That looks pretty impressive. I like that. The Batmobile ones at this end, we've got our sort of Batman centric work corner. But yeah, those things don't necessarily need to be there. So there's storage up there. I've got nowhere to put all the Carrera cars. Yeah. Anyone got a gripe about those Carrera boxes? We were just talking about that the other night. Why are Carrera boxes so bloody huge compared to, say, an NSR box? That's ridiculous. Like, you would think, surely, if they made the packaging a bit more sensible, like the NSR, not only could you stack 4 on a shelf like this, like, I'd be lucky if I get 2. Yeah, 2. Yeah, I did have 2, didn't I? But you'd think when they're shipping product around the world, they'd be able to fit 2 or more times the amount of stock in those shipping containers. And it would cost them half, or at least half, of the shipping cost currently, because of these great big giant bloody boxes. There's a lot of wasted space in those things. So I think what I'm going to do with all these Carrera cars, I'm going to remove the cars from the boxes and they'll be displayed somehow. And all the empty boxes for the Carrera cars will go under the table. The table of doom. Da, 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 da. Yes, that's not there by any strange coincidence. Do you like what I did there? Yeah, well, maybe. Well, let's try this. I don't want to break it. Oh, I'll get these ideas, and then now I've got the camera in the wrong hand. Oh dear. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Is that the right theme? I think I got the wrong theme. Da, 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 da. Yeah, bit of fun for the Star Wars nerds out there. Noids. What's a noids? Is it a nerd with a blocked nose? I'm annoyed. Yeah. Well, at least it's coming along. Got all the slots up the top here. Isn't that nice? So I had these ones all jammed in the corner over there, and it was awkward to get to. And they are more top shelf type cars, along with the BRMs. My one BRM. Where's the rest? See? This is becoming a real problem, folks. Storage. What do we do about storage? But, you know, we don't want to store them away where we can't see them. We want them on display. But we don't want them getting covered in dust and crap. So, how about in the comments, if anybody's got a fantastic solution, and no, buy-less slot cars is not a solution. Might be. Yeah, it might be. We need an awesome display solution. Someone to come up with some fantastic way of displaying all these cars. They're highly visible. You walk in the room, it's like, whoa, look at those. But they're not getting bumped, they're not getting touched, they're not getting covered in dust. Got to work towards that. So, ideas, please. And, yeah, even wrong answers are welcome too. Folks, I have started work on one of the 3A3D 3D printed kits. It's the Camaro, and it's coming along quite nice so far. Let's pop next door and have a look. Greetings, slot car adventurers. This time around, I've been watching one of Harry Wise's videos on Home Racing World. I'm about to start working on this kit he sent me. This is the 3A3D Camaro with a spoiler, yeah. So I'm watching this video of Harry's, and he's showing you how to sand down the body to get rid of some of those 3D printing divots and anomalies that sometimes appear. And I've been working at it just like that. I'm using 1200 wet and dry. Well, I just dropped it. And I've been giving it the once over. It's smoothed it right off. It really does work a treat. I'm going to move up to probably 2000 grit paper now to finish it off. And just as Harry's showing there, yeah, he's gone on to 2000 by the looks of it. It just smooths it out a lot better, gets rid of a lot of those weird divots, and preps it best for priming. So I'll just keep on going with this. I'll finish this off, and then we'll get into the priming stage. Very cool. Okay, found myself some 2000. I'm going to dip this in. I think I used this on the Flying V guitar all those months ago. So into the water, and I'll just, oh yeah, that's smoothing it off nicely. Bit more water. Very good. So I'll just go over the whole body and get into all the little nooks and crannies, and as soon as it's finished and washed off and dried off and all that, we should take it outside to the very awesome spray booth. Yeah, the outdoorsy spray booth, and throw on our first coat of primer, huh? And we'll do the spoiler while we're at it. Very exciting, and boy, this is coming up a treat. Great tip, Harry. Thank you very much for that video, mate. And here's the result. The priming is done, both the spoiler and the Camaro body. looking pretty nice already. It will get another sand down. I'm going to do that once this cures properly. I'm going to leave it go a couple of days, just sitting, wasting its life away, drying, and then I'll use probably some 3000 grit on there. I won't use it wet. We'll see. I'll just give it a nice smoothing off before we start looking at the first coat of colour. And everybody's probably wondering, what colour is this going to be? Well, some have suggested it's going to be red. I was thinking blue. I'm not so sure, but I'm still making up my mind at this point. I haven't made I'm 80% in favour of one particular colour. Well, there might be more than one colour involved, actually. This one might be a wash or a blend or a morph. It might be one colour in the front morphing to a different in the back, or it might be racing stripes, or who knows. There might be highlight pieces. Bumped it. Still undecided, but bottom line is, here we are at the moment. It's been sanded down, it's been primed. Oh, now before I primed it, I did wipe it down with some isocol and a nice clean microfiber cloth. So looking pretty darn good. It is quite smooth already, although I can see a couple of little blemish up around here. There's some sort of grit or hole has appeared. It was done outside, so yeah, but that'll get a light sanding when it dries. All that will disappear. And I'm already thinking about the detail for the lights front and rear. Now what I'm going to attempt to do is, I've got some really awesome pictures from front on and from back straight on, and I'm going to attempt to size the actual lights to the correct size to this, so I can trim them out and glue them on. I'm going to print them out in high quality photo glossy paper, glue them on if I can get them to fit perfectly, and then the stuff I'm using should be perfectly okay with clear coat over the top. By the end of it, it should look pretty convincing, and I was horrified by the idea of doing that, but hey, that new Carrera NASCAR I got, Carrera's done the same, except with this one I might put a light kit in it. I'm thinking of doing a light kit, so that means I'll have to approach it differently. Another idea is to do what I was saying, print them out on photo glossy paper, but before I cut them out, to put some of where is it? I've got some. It's acetate. Some of this stuff. I've got some left over from magnetic racing. If I trace out the shape of the lights, front and rear, and trim this with an art knife, scalpel, I'll actually glue that over the top. So yeah, thinking. We'll see how we go. But so far so good. I'm really enjoying this. It's gonna look amazing. Yeah, very happy with this. Now, just having an inspection while the primer is drying, there's a bit of a little divot, little knob there I've missed while I was sanding it down. I want to get rid of that. I'll have to use the file. The rest of it's okay. I found one more though on this side, just in there, so I'll have to fix them up, take them off with a little hand file. Also, the back of the spoiler, see those little dots? I didn't notice those before, so I'll really sand that off and try to get that smooth. That'll have to be re-primed. But this is looking great. There is one spot up here you can see some of the printing. There's a bit of a swirl. I don't know if it's coming up on the camera, but I'll give that a light sanding as well. So I'll probably give this 48 hours to cure, this primer, before I attempt to sand that. I'll use the 2000, work my way up to 3 and 4 and 5000. It's looking smooth because I'm using metallic paint. Well, I think I am. Yeah, I want to get nice and smooth before I start putting some colour on. But I'm very impressed. It's coming up great. I think this is going to look really, really good, this one. We just need to be patient, give it plenty of drying time, be diligent, and yeah, I think it's going to be very, very nice. Now, while that's curing, I have had another go with, where is it? Not the PVA wood glue. It's disappeared. There it is, right in front of me. The canopy glue. I had a bit of a think about it for a bit, and I ended up putting down some masking tape like so. Well, one piece, I started with one piece each, positioned these screens into place perfectly, holding it down, and then I got the masking tape in there to keep it in position. Then I started applying more masking tape, and as you can see, they're held in position quite well. And then I just started applying the canopy glue around the edges. Fairly generous amount because I want it to stay in there. So again, it's not instant drying. It took 3 hours to basically dry, but now I'm waiting, as it says on here, 24-hour drying time for a full cure. So I'm not tearing off that masking tape until 24 hours is up. I might even give it a bit more, but it seems I've found a technique that's at least working for me. The rear one's looking good. I've had a bit of leakage of the glue on the front one, and it's not on the inside. It's gone under there, so it's going to be on the outside. I should be able to use a blade very carefully to just, dig away at it, trim it off. We'll see. But it's going to look a hell of a lot better than my first attempt, way better than my second attempt, which wasn't much better than the first attempt. Third time lucky, looks like it. So this one's going to have screens at least. I'm still gonna leave the Betty Mobile without screens, I've decided, because she's gonna stand in the back and ride around in it, and yeah. But this one, yeah, it'll be cool to see if it actually works. I've got the side ones in. I managed to do that okay. So yeah, we'll see how this canopy glue works out. That technique of installation it looks like it's worked for me. Fingers crossed we'll know in 24 hours when we remove all this. Hopefully we can put the car back together, get it back on the track, and I'll be able to declare this particular HQ finished. Yeah, very exciting. And here we are. I have actually successfully installed the front and rear screens. Look at that. Nice and crisp. What a difference. I did crack the car body, putting the insert back in. Yeah, that's the downside of these 3D printed bodies. They're very brittle. Very brittle. Got to be careful. Yeah, not happy with that. Can't really touch it up. I don't have that paint. And the model is ruined. Yeah, oh well. But I got the screens in. I now have a technique for installing the screens using the canopy paint. But here's the irony, folks. The way I did it using the masking tape, I might as well have just used PVA glue. Yes. In fact, I might experiment with that. Well, I got a big bottle of canopy glue now, so I might as well stick to that. But 3 hours to dry and 24 hours to fully cure, I think is ridiculous. You gotta find a way and means of putting those screens in place and keeping them in place, and the masking tape was the best way to do it, I found. It's not perfectly tightly installed in those corners,
but then again the screen itself isn't perfectly molded and shaped to fit that body. You know, that it's not a perfect science yet, but damn, it's pretty darn good. I'm very pleased with that. That's as good as anything. I haven't put them in this one yet. I probably won't. I like the idea of Betty being able to stand in the back and ride around. I might put the front windscreen in, we'll see. But yeah, very happy with those. Very cool. And now I know how to put the screens in. So that was very important, because that's getting that technique right is very important for this Camaro build. I want it to look great. I want the screens to go in. There's one set of screens, not two, but one. I'll get one crack at it, and I'm quietly confident now that I will do an okay job. So yeah, very, very pleased. And look, my two HQ builds, I might as well declare them complete. Yeah, I'm very happy with them, and they're great slot cars too. That's what's most important. They absolutely fly. Now, you remember when I did the crocodile swamp, and then above it, this thing I've tentatively called the cage. Now, it's unfinished. There's more to do on this thing. But before I start adding all the finishing touches, it was important to start working on, I guess you could call it the bookend. There's not just one there, but at the other end of the bridge, I've started work on one here as well. So using the good old craft wood, finished with my little home paint, house wall paint trick, where you don't shake up the tin, you just use the goo forming on the top after it's been sitting for several days. And it's more like a wash, makes it look fairly authentic, plain old everyday craft wood. Like there's what it sort of looks like on the end there. In the light, there you go, from that to that. Oh, a few touch-ups required, that's all right. So I've added the posts, started up the frame. That doesn't go there, that's just temporarily, because that's a thicker gauge. It's for something else. So I've got to cut one of these to length and then start work on the cross members before I get to start making more of this. Yes, more of this corrugated iron. You see, this project is just an excuse to use the $12 Amazon crinkle cracker. Let's call it the crinkle cracker. I like the sound of that. Crinkle cracker. Oh dear. So folks, let's get crafting. Well, there it is, slot car adventurers. My framework is pretty much done. I might add a few extra little bits and pieces here and there. Oh, it's getting stuck. Oh dear, it's the old Temu
whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but it sticks to everything. Get it off now. It's stuck on the. Oh God! Get. Oh gosh. Yeah, Timu. Yeah. So I've got bits left over. Might do some cross members or something interesting, but I'll dress them up, make it a little bit more quirky, and tying in with this thing over here. So that will do for this week. Next week I will get on to the crinkly, the corrugated iron, for those who don't understand sophisticated speak. Yes, it's looking good. Coming along great. I love the fact we've got like this level, and then you got this level, and I'm going to have some blinking red LED lights in both this one and the one down that end, and probably blinking blue LEDs on the bridge. And speaking of the bridge, I've got to get something to straighten it up. It's sagging a bit. I definitely knew that I was pushing my luck by attaching the three together and having no support. The kits do have supports available. It is only MDF, folks. It's thin MDF sheet, so of course it's probably going to sag in time, and it has, but I'll get some angled aluminium strips that will run the full length, and that'll straighten it up nice and easily, and I'll still be able to have it nice and clear underneath. Oh yeah, definitely loved the bridge. That turned out great. And wait till you see the new kit. Yes. Is it as good as the bridges? Probably on a par, maybe even better. You'll have to wait and see, but it's coming, folks. It's definitely coming. And yeah, I can't wait to hopefully be the first one to build one, install it right here. So keep an eye out for that, maybe next week, maybe the week after. All right, let's move along. Folks, I have received a surprise package all the way from the USA.
Ooh, show us your package. Wow!
Very, very surprising. So let's check out what it can be. This is from Jim Ryan. I believe he's in Texas, down towards Florida somewhere. I don't really know the layout of the land properly. Got a vague idea because, I'm stuck down here, down under, aren't I? Let's see what... folks. Oh my God. Look at that. You are kidding me. Isn't that a beauty? Let's see. Is it coming? Is it undone? Yes. Take that off. Solid. Yeah, that's pretty special. If we can get the camera to focus about there. Look at that livery. That is superb. Thank you very much, Brother Jay. Jim Ryan, that is fantastic. Thank you very much. And it's a Scale Auto R Series too. Which reminds me, I've actually ordered a new Scale Auto, something else. And I needed not one but two to fill the space on the shelf. Yeah, that's why we buy them. We don't buy them because they're great slot cut. No, we look at the shelf space. Okay, we've got a space for two there. Let's get one more, get two more. Yeah, I'm joking, of course, but it's getting a bit that way. Shelf space. So I actually have not seen this one, and yeah, goes hand in hand with this young lady. Fantastic. Those umbrellas always move forward. You sort of got to bend them back out of the way so we can 1, 2, 3. It's a magic. That's better. How's that? Folks, we need to get this on the track. Needed to get it out of the box, undo the little screw, and get this running. Okay, let's do it. All good, all sorted. Got to win the award of sexiest rear spoiler, I reckon. What a car. Love that livery. Absolutely fantastic. It's a metallic blue, kind of like a corn blue. I think they call that down here. I love it. It's beautiful. What a great slot car. Many thanks to brother Jay, Jim Ryan. USA, thanks mate, an awesome treat. And I've got to say, the generosity from people all over, especially there in the USA, just sending these things out, showing appreciation for the channel, you know, little thank yous, we like what you're doing. Yeah, it just gives you that extra, you know, bounce in your step. Pushes you on to do more, so there'll be definitely loads more coming, folks, even when we get this layout finished. It's nearing completion. And speaking of that, there's 2 major magnetic racing kits I've got left to build, and one on the way. I've been working with the guys at Magnetic Racing. I sent a design over and said, what do you reckon? And well, I think they no sooner got back from NSR, they were onto it, and it's already done. They're just working on the final packaging and writing the instruction book. So probably next week or maybe the week after, you'll either be seeing from me or them or all of us in synchronization this awesome new thing. And the only clue I'll give you is if you've got a Carrera digital set, you're probably going to want one of these. The moment you see it, you're going to be going, oh, I think I'm going to get myself one of them. Yeah, it's definitely got that factor going on in spades. The prototype looks amazing. I'm very excited. I think the guys are. They got onto it so quick. I couldn't believe how fast they got onto this one. So folks, keep an eye out for it. A very cool new release for Carrera digital tracks especially. I wonder if we could modify it for Scalextric and other brand. We'll see. One step at a time, eh? Let's not get too carried away. Anyway, thanks again, Jim Ryan in the US. A brilliant surprise. Really like it, mate. And how can you not like that? That is sensational. Well, there you have it, slot car adventurers. I went with something called Chrome Yellow. Thought it was very interesting, and obviously I'm trying to go for kind of the classic Bumblebee Trans Am Camaro from the Transformers movies. Yeah, sort of along that lines. So I've got the spoiler here, the wing.
it's finished. I've got some black Tamiya paint, and yeah, there's a lot of taping off and creating black trims, front, back, sides. Still undecided whether to do the section of the bonnet and the roof. Don't know, but I'm thinking maybe keep them clean on this one. Once you add the spoiler, yeah, you can see it's going to be pretty slick. So I'm going to do a lot of taping off and angles and things in the front here. Going to keep the main bumper there, the chrome yellow, the insert will be glued in there. Quite tricky. So there's provisions for little lamps down here, so that's given me some ideas. There might be some drilling for headlights, rear lights. Undecided, maybe I'm taking on a bit too much because this is a trial run. There'll be more 3A3D kits, but I am trying to make it look really nice, and so far that's looking nice. I don't care what anybody says. That's looking the business. Very, very pleased. So, a black trim along there. Probably a bit of silver detail there. I might have a little pipe extending out the back there. Oh, that's dropped off. Out the back here. I was going to do 4 exhaust pipes, but there is no section in there. It depends on what the chassis is doing, I guess. But I might do that little bit in there black. I think that'll be just the thing. I suppose I could do the exhaust pipes glued to the actual chassis, so when it's there, they're sticking out the back. What else? Let's pop that back on. We're just thinking out loud here, folks. Planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, as they say. I have thought of painting these little window pieces here, the little black I've seen in some of the photos. I went online to see images of the Bumblebee car, and that's just going to keep sliding off. There's a gazillion different versions, so I'm going to have probably the black wheels. I have been eyeing off some Staff's wheels, 16 point whatever they are, the larger ones, and then I'll put lower profile tyres on it. It's going to look amazing. And I am wanting to put a racing decal on this rather than just have it as a street car, so I'm not too sure. Shell came to mind. I can find decals for Shell, but it's sort of orangey on yellow. That's Shell's colours, isn't it? It might work. Undecided, but yeah, I want to have a look. I want to do something not over the top, something very tasteful, classy. Probably less is more in this instance. Or I might change my mind and just leave it as a street car. It's just that I know it's going to turn out great. I'm going to want to race it, aren't I? So it's got to at least have numbers on there. I suppose I could use some of those sticker numbers from the Pioneer white kits. I don't know if they like the clear coat over the top, though. I'll have to investigate that. But so far, so good. I'm going to get taping and start on that. Of course, I've got a long road ahead. But for this week, I think we've gotten off to a good start. I've shown you heaps, and we'll do this in several parts. I'll show you my progress each time. We'll leave this project go for now, and let's hop into the studio. Wow, that Camaro is just looking amazing, I've got to say. I can't wait to get working on those black trims. That's going to look very cool. Folks, I've got another side project I'm about to start working on, and it is this guitar. As you know, I do the odd guitar project, and what I'll be showing as I work on this over the next few weeks,
I'll put the segment right at the end as usual, so that for the slot car folk that have no interest in this sort of thing, that's your cue to sign off and go check something else out. But for those of you interested, yes, way back late 80s, early 90s, when I was in various bands playing all the clubs and pubs and venues all around the city, as many did, this was my main instrument of choice. It was that ear. It's got the droopy headstock. This is a superb guitar, but it's been sort of in its case and locked away and barely seen the light of day for the last 2 decades, I guess. And one reason for that is the tremolo. All the nuts and bolts are just all worn out. It doesn't hold its intonation. It needs that completely replaced. And also, as it's aged, the white binding, the white body, it's yellowing. That's fine. Some people love that. I think on a more of a vintage instrument, that's a good thing. Bright white always looks cheap, and yeah. But this body has had a lot of knocks. It's got some dings in the back, some holes in the back. It definitely needs to be stripped down and repainted, refinished. So that's going to be my project. The neck is fine, it can stay as this, but what I'm thinking of doing is painting the body a nice gloss black, so it actually matches in with the gloss black headstock. Now that might sound pretty straightforward, but there's all kinds of different shades of black, believe it or not, and getting one that's going to match closely. Remember, this is aged now, so it's going to be a bit of a trick. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, this was a great instrument. Very, very pleased. Excellent playing neck. Japanese made. One of the better Charvels of the era. And Jackson had a version of this, which was the Jackson Soloist, or rather this was a version of the Jackson Soloist, but they basically came out of the same factory. One end's Jackson, the other end's Charvel, and yeah, different price points. But this was your more higher end Charvel at the time, and I think they call it the toothpaste logo. I think that's a bit silly. It looks a bit better than toothpaste, don't you reckon? Yeah, so, but I've got to find a replacement tremolo that'll just fit straight in there. I don't want to have to route the body out. First step is to dismantle it, put everything away in a box, wrap it all individually, make sure it's not getting damaged. But I think there's a German make that will maybe, was it? I can't think, but there is a German brand that was making these, and they were licensed by Floyd Rose. So I have to find the right one that just sits perfectly. And this guitar should come back to life. It'll be brought back from the dead, I guess you could say. So stick around, keep an eye out for that. You never know when I'll have a sneaky little segment snuck in. Looking forward to transforming this guitar. And God, if I've managed to get the airbrushing, I might even do some fancy airbrushing on this. I always wanted to do that. We'll see. I'll think about it. And then that leads us to, what am I listening to this week? Well, folks, this week I've been listening to none other than classic Led Zeppelin, and this compilation, very best of the Mothership. I think it's all the Led Zeppelin you really need. It's all in here, all the greatest tracks, very well put together. 2 discs and a DVD, I believe. DVD is over 2 hours of footage. If you don't have this one, where have you been? Go out and get it now, for God's sake. Probably, yeah, I think it's the best Led Zeppelin hits collection. Been really getting into, the classics again. Just bloody brilliant. There's tracks I didn't even know that were done by these guys. I went, hang on, I thought that was the other ones.
But yeah, very, very cool compilation. Led Zeppelin, Mothership. That's what I'm listening to this week.
Oh, it won't fit. Bloody Carrera boxes. Why are they so big? Good grief, folks. On that note, that's all I've got for you this week, folks. Tune in next week to see if I manage to solve my storage problems. Yeah, I want to respect the collection and have them on display. I want to be able to see every single car. The biggest problem are these Revo slots because they're in cardboard boxes, and when they're in the boxes you can't see the car. Genius. Yes, so they're going to have to be out of their boxes. I guess I'll put the boxes away. Maybe I'll display them on their tray, like so. But then they're going to get covered in dust. Around and round we go. Yeah, it is a dilemma. So once again, folks, if you've got any brilliant ideas for display storage that ticks all those boxes, you know, does them justice, makes them look brilliant, and protects them from the dreaded dust and prying little fingers, yes, by all means write some stuff in the comments for us all. We'll think about it and check it out, and yeah, hopefully can come up with a great solution to this, because I really am running out of space. I don't want to bite into the space because then you can't get around the track. See, I'm having to squish through there between that shelf and the cage, a little overhang there. So they're really not that ideal there, folks. I think way back I said, yeah, that wall should be reserved just for posters and the like, and I think I was on the right track there. I can see myself taking these down, but then where am I going to display all this stuff? Windows there, sliding glass doors there, this wall here, the door opens up to here, so really that's all I've got. I've put some up top, but you can't see them. Yeah, I have considered pulling all this stuff out and putting display shelves along the front there, so maybe that is the option, maybe. We'll see. But whatever the case may be, I will catch you guys next time on Hughes Garage Slot Car Adventures.